For today's meditation, we are reading from 2 Samuel chapter 3, verses 17 to 25. And Abner conferred with the elders of Israel, saying, For some time past you have been seeking David as king over you. Now then bring it about, for the Lord has promised David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel from the hand of the Philistines and from the hand of all their enemies. Abner also spoke to Benjamin. And then Abner went to tell David at Hebron all that Israel and the whole house of Benjamin thought good to do. When Abner came with 20 men to David at Hebron, David made a feast for Abner and the men who were with him. And Abner said to David, I will arise and go and will gather all Israel to my lord the king, that they may make a covenant with you, and that you may reign over all that your heart desires. So David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. Just then the servants of David arrived with Joab from a raid, bringing much spoil with them. But Abner was not with David at Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. When Joab and all the army that was with him came, it was told Joab, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he has let him go, and he has gone in peace. Then Joab went to the king and said, What have you done? Behold, Abner came to you. Why is it that you have sent him away so that he is gone? You know that Abner the son of Ner came to deceive you, and to know your going out and your coming in, and to know all that you are doing. When Israel left Egypt, and before they entered the occupied Canaan, God spoke through Moses to give them a very important prophecy and warning. He foresaw that one day the Israelites would ask for a king like other nations had. He warned them that in those days their kings should not be like the pagan kings in multiplying horses, silver and gold, and wives to themselves. Deuteronomy 17, verse 17. Sad to say, even David transgressed this commandment despite his constant meditation on the law of the Lord. By the end of his rule in Hebron, he acquired at least 6 more wives beside Michal, the daughter of Saul. Finally, he reclaimed Michal as his wife, breaking up her happy family. She also suffered a good deal for a betrayal of him in marrying another husband. David might have taken example from the pagan kings around him. Yet, as a godly man conversant with the scriptures, he should have remembered that in the beginning it was not so. Solomon his son, though blessed by God with wisdom greater than that of any other man, still followed his bad example and exceeded it greatly. In his pursuit of power and pleasure, he crossed all boundaries with 700 wives and 300 concubines. Thus, the bad examples that we set may multiply in the excesses of our beloved sons and daughters. With all these wives and children, David's sons were not famous for their godliness, and some were notorious for their evil deeds. One of them, Amnon, raped his half-sister, and a brother Absalom murdered the rapist, who was his half-brother. Absalom led a full-scale rebellion against his royal father, and another of David's sons, Adonijah, attempted to tilt the balance of power against Solomon. David's duly appointed an anointed successor, and suffered execution for his plans. Futile and painful is the task of pandering to the flesh. Abner, the commander of Saul's army, refused to acknowledge David's right to the throne of Israel even after the death of his master. He was well aware that God had chosen David to be the next king of Israel, but installed Ishbosheth as the king of the other tribes of Israel. As a power behind the throne, Abner was a real ruler. He exceeded his powers when he took Saul's concubine Rizpah to his own bed. This amounted to claiming the rights pertaining to King Saul himself. Much later, Absalom did the same with David's concubines on Ahithophel's advice, and Adonijah attempted to do so. At Ishbosheth's rebuke, Abner was offended and renounced his loyalty to his own king. Now he vowed to help David to rule over all of Israel. Now he reminded the elders of Israel of God's promise to David that he would be the rightful king of Israel. The right thing for the wrong reason. Abner was not joining David with a repentant and humble heart for having resisted the will of God for so long. He was seeking to score off his master Ishbosheth for his own personal reasons. The heart of David is laid open in his dealings with Abner. He did not remember all the past, but dealt heartily with Abner. Once reconciled, we also should be able to deal with those who once sought our downfall with kindness and a forgiving heart. However, David's plans did not succeed. There would be no peaceful accession to the throne of Israel. His own general and relative Joab violently disagreed with David's guileless reception of Abner. He accused Abner of coming as a spy. Wicked words are those directed against the innocent without proof. The truth was that Joab wanted to kill Abner in revenge for his brother Asahel's death. He knew well that it was a battle death and not a murder or assassination. Abner had warned Asahel, the swift runner, not to chase him, lest he be forced to kill him to his own shame before Joab, his Judean counterpart. Joab did as he pleased, and this precipitated a treacherous assassination of Abner, belying David's guarantee of protection. This was an affront to David's honor, and David made sure to refute the act publicly. He mourned for Abner, explained the importance of what had just happened, and deplored his weakness in the face of wicked and violent men, even though they were his own relatives. It is strange that David could not dismiss Joab for this act of rank disobedience and dishonor, but he appears to have already been in his power. Yet he committed revenge to God by calling down a curse on the house of Joab, as that of the man who had committed this act. He did not excuse Joab, but he left him to God's justice. David never forgot this incident till his death. On his deathbed, he thus instructed his son Solomon in 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 5 and 6. Moreover, you also know what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, how he dealt with the two commanders of the armies of Israel, Abner the son of Ner and Amasa the son of Jether, whom he killed, avenging in time of peace for blood that had been shed in war, and putting the blood of war on the belt around his waist and on the sandals on his feet. Act therefore according to your wisdom, but do not let his grey head go down to Sheol in peace. Let us keep ourselves free from the sin of treachery. Let us also not blindly follow our leaders because of their known godliness. There is none good except the Lord. Let us look into the scriptures and understand God's mind so that we may not fall into open sin and shame and leave a dishonorable legacy for posterity. God bless.